spacey, sticky, super cush. It just fits different. Experience a new high. Ultra. Stay out there.
Megan Hicks of I Run Far. I'm with Marianne Hogan. It's the day after your third place finish at the 2025 Western States Endurance Run. Well, hello, Marianne.
Hello.
We meet again.
Yes, and we're sitting down. That's a good start.
Hopefully this will be a conscious interview this time.
Yeah, exactly.
A faint during your interview after your third place finish in 2022.
Yeah. Long time ago now, it feels like.
Yeah, long time ago, but same feelings.
Yeah.
This is a really hard 100-miler.
Yeah, it is actually. It's the heat will really get you, and I feel like it almost gets you worse the next day. it's weird, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to run all day in the heat, and then you have to come back to get your award the next day in the heat. No air conditioning, sitting.
Where it feels like heat training, you know, when heat training should be done.
You should be in a cool pool right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
This third place finish did not come easy to you yesterday.
No, it was a really tough day, actually. It's hard to describe exactly why, but from the get-go, I just felt really off, and I had a lot of pains in my body that came up really quickly. I had been dealing with some things at the end of my training block and was hoping that it would have enough time to recover during taper, but they kind of came back running really quickly in the race, and so that made it really hard for me to kind of enjoy some free kilometers. For me, I like to describe Western States as a lot of free miles, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of downhill, but I was struggling a lot out there, and it made a lot of the race very difficult.
So you said you had some stuff in your training block that came up early. Was this like little niggles and aches and pains and stuff? Or?
Yeah, at the end of my training block, my sciatic nerve acted up, and it was just pulling on a lot of different things, and it was just, it came up very suddenly and very intensively, and I was hoping that the taper would kind of wind it down, but it didn't quite get there. So I was a little worried, and I guess my worries kind of got confirmed somewhere up in the high country.
When the sciatica decided to present itself again.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that we listened to you say at the finish line last night that it just sort of takes the enjoyment out of the early miles that are supposed to be beautiful and free and early and fresh.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the things that I love about ultras. Like, I usually kind of disconnect from any type of competition, or for me, running, I enjoy running a lot, and yesterday, unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of enjoyment, and just because my body was hurting and I really didn't feel well. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting, because when I crossed the finish line, I was just so happy that I made it, that I don't think I've ever been so happy to make it to the finish line, because I don't really know how I got there yesterday.
The universe somehow delivered you there.
I was like, whoa, okay, I'll take it.
Well, more like maybe like your fierce resilience and determination, and all just what you've built up through your career of doing these long and hard things delivers you there, whether you're aware of it or not.
Yeah, I guess so, and I think the team has a lot to do with it too. Like, I think Western States is also very, very special, because your team has such a big impact on you. There's a lot of aid stations, you have pacers, so it's really hard to, not that you would want to give up, but it's really hard to give up when you have such a big team around you, and I'm a very team-oriented person, so I definitely owe my finish to my entire team that was out there for me.
I love that. The women's race dynamic was really interesting from start to finish, and I mean, how did it feel from your perspective? Were you aware of all the dynamicness and the coming and going of the women around you?
Not really. Like I said, I was just struggling so much in the beginning that I didn't really know what was happening, and then I think I got to Dusty Corners, and I was told that we were all running faster than course record. And I was
you had no awareness of that.
And I was like, okay, well, I guess we're not doing that bad. So no, I didn't quite, because I saw them for a little while in the high country. There was, I think, 4 women ahead of me. And then I started feeling really bad, and I didn't see them again for a little while. And then when I got to the aid station, they told me that they really weren't that far from me. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. I was like, I guess I'll keep going and see where this takes me.
It's kind of funny when you're like feeling so badly, but you're still in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling, though, I guess. It's a relief, you know. It's kind of like okay, I got to keep going.
Later in the race, when you were sort of more, firmly cemented in the podium position, or you'd been there for a while, you must have known that like you're running in third now.
yes and no, because I only got into third place at just before Pointed Rocks, so nothing was in cement for sure.
I guess, but you were kind of close to playing, yeah.
I was fourth. I think I got fourth, somewhere in between Forest. Actually, Forest Hill. I think I got fourth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then, so it was sort of back and forth there for a while, or you were close to podium position, and then.
Well, I think from Forest Hill, I was Fujao was the one in front of me, and I wasn't closing in on her, and I was thinking, Fujao is a hard one to close on, and so I guess I was just running scared of the people behind me as opposed to who's ahead of me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then eventually, the narrative kind of changed, because when I got to Green Gate, I was told that. I think Ida was struggling a little bit, or that's what I was told at least. And so then it became of, okay, well now let's start looking forward and see what we can do, and that's kind of what I tried to do.
Got it. And so then you found her somewhere around Pointed Rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. What was it like then?
Well, it was very interesting, because as I mentioned to you earlier, I got sick. I felt I think the heat got me, and I was sick multiple times throughout the course, and whenever I would overheat, I would get sick again. And so in all of that section, even when it's getting cooler, I was just, as soon as I didn't have any ice in me, I was overheating, and then I felt incredibly sick, and I kept, so it was really difficult. And then when we finally saw her, I think I was surprised that I was catching her on the uphill, because I didn't feel like I was moving so well. And then, and I mean, when you're at Pointed Rocks, I guess it's all hands on deck, like you gotta give it your best. I was like, okay, well, I think we're gonna so my pacer kind of was like, okay, we gotta accelerate here, and I just followed blindly. And then we got to Pointed Rocks, and Mathieu hopped back in as my pacer, and he it was very interesting, because he was just, again, for him, Mathieu kept encouraging me to look forward and not backwards. And so he was like, okay, well, Fujao is like 6 minutes away, let's try to get her. And I was like, in my head, I was like, he's a little crazy, but I was like, okay, we'll see what we can do. And it was fun. I think that's probably something that I'll cherish forever, running through that downhill and then suffering my way up to Roby Point.
This is such a cool finish line here. Like evening, lots of people in the stands, like just a very celebratory atmosphere. All the top finishers like hanging around. What did it feel like to cross the finish line for the second time in third place in this race?
Yeah, it's very special, because like I said, it was a surprise to me. I still can't believe how that happened. And so I think there is something really special about running around the track and having your crew there with you. I feel like that's like my favorite part of Western States, is being able to have your crew run you from Roby Point. Like, you're not done with the race, but you're already recapping what happened, and I was getting emotional with them, and they were like, okay, we'll wait for the finish line before we get emotional.
Hold your stuff together.
But I think it's so cool, and then you cross the finish line, and I feel like Western States has a very family feel to it. Like, if you return, you get really friendly with your competitors, and I think the staff of Western States is unbelievable, and I think we're able to spend some quality time with them and get to know them, and that's what I really enjoy. So it feels like you're kind of running home, even if I'm not at all from Auburn, California, but that's kind of how I feel when I run around that track.
You said off camera, like the thing of like you want to be able to like celebrate what you've done and what you put together, but then there's like that, that thing in you that makes you feel like you want to chase betterment.
Yeah.
Like, is there sort of like both of those feelings in you today?
Yeah, I think I've learned from my previous results that I really don't want to immediately dwell on the things that I want to improve, because I feel like we work so hard, like all through our life as an ultra runner, we work so hard to hit these podiums at these big races, and then we end up getting a podium and we're disappointed because we're third and not first, which I think is a little silly. And I think we need to, even if I wish that I had a better day out there, I need to celebrate the fact that I pushed through, I suffered, and I made it to the finish line in third, and that's I guess the feelings that I want to have in these exact moments. But of course, when I'll stop recovering, I think I'll start thinking about things that I could have done differently, as much in the block leading up to the race as on race day or anything like that. But I do want to dwell on I want to take a few days to cherish these moments and not just be disappointed, because I feel like that would be just a waste of our life as ultra runners.
And this race does do a little bit of like that future temptation, because they dangle that W3 right in front of you the minute you cross the finish line.
Yeah, well, it's funny because my pacer, he had paced me in 2022, and before we caught Ida, I said, we're coming back next year, by the way. And he was like, okay, but let's get you to the finish line.
Can you just do this race first?
Yeah. I was like, okay, we're coming back. So yeah, I think that I have a pull towards it, and it's hard to describe, but I think it's the energy around this race that makes us all want to come back. And
Congratulations on your third place finish at the 2025 Western States, and I guess that's a celebrate what you have done and see you next year.
yeah, I guess it is. Thank you.
Thank you.